We're going to get started now. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. Thank you to everyone here on campus today and online for joining us for this major milestone recognizing AI's integral role within the ecosystem of this state that we love so much. My name is Miklos Maciszewski, and I'm the Associate Director of Business Development for the Institute for Experiential AI here at the Roux Institute. Come find me today to discuss how the EAI engages with our business partners. And throughout the day, if you have any questions or comments, look for the red lanyard. The folks wearing red lanyards can help with questions ranging from, will AI ever be sentient, to where is the restroom? Just as we believe that our development and use of artificial intelligence must be human-centric in order to create positive change, we know it is people, their ideas, and the way they're able to work together that will power Maine's growth and development from now into the future. And it is the people featured in this report and the people gathered here today that make this moment so thrilling. So now I'd like to introduce two people who are leading us into this moment to officially welcome you. Dr. Usama Fayyad, Executive Director at the Institute for Experiential AI, has been a leading light in the field of artificial intelligence and data for more than 3 decades. A pioneer in the field of data mining, and someone with far too many accolades for me to list here, he has dedicated his career to human-centric artificial intelligence. And Margaret Angell, Head of Partnerships at the Roux Institute, has dedicated hers to forging the personal human connections on which the future of Maine's technological economy will be built. It is my honor to introduce them to kick off the launch event for the 2023 State of AI in Maine.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the State of AI in Maine event here in beautiful Portland. It is an honor to have each and every one of you in attendance today. We are gathered here to discuss the ways in which organizations across our great state are leveraging the power of artificial intelligence to advance their missions and drive innovation. AI has the potential to transform industries and change the way we live and work, from healthcare to finance, transportation to education. AI is already making a significant impact. But it's not just large companies and tech giants that are taking advantage of this technology. Organizations of all sizes and across all sectors are finding ways to harness the power of AI to better serve their customers, improve their operations, and drive growth. We are proud to be part of a welcoming and innovative business community here in Maine. The organizations represented here today are a testament to the cutting-edge work being done in our state and the dedication of our business and academic leaders to driving progress. I am excited to hear from our speakers and panelists about their experiences and insights on how AI is being used to drive success in their organizations. Thank you for being here, and let's dive in to explore the state of AI in Maine. How was that? Who wrote it? ChatGPT. I think the good evening part gave it away. I didn't tell it what time we were starting. Here are the instructions that I gave to ChatGPT. Please write 3 paragraphs of opening remarks to welcome 400 people to a live event in Portland, Maine called the State of AI in Maine. The purpose of the event is to highlight how organizations across the state are leveraging AI to advance their missions. The event is 4 hours and includes speakers and panels, including many business and academic leaders from across the state. I would like to include thoughts about the power of AI and the welcoming and innovative business community in Maine. And that's what it produced. The future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. My husband and I came across that quote early in the pandemic. It's attributable to the science fiction writer William Gibson. And as we saw the case numbers rising in Italy, if you can all remember when Italy was at the bleeding edge of the pandemic, we kept thinking about that, right? The future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. And I feel like there are times in your life when you feel that very viscerally. And with the rise of AI and these technologies, we all feel that very viscerally. And the question becomes, what are we going to do? How are we going to use these tools to have broad, positive, and equitable impact across our state and our community? And these are the questions and the opportunities that gave rise to Northeastern and what motivates us here. And so for those of you who don't know us, we are Northeastern University. We have 35,000 students, 2,500 faculty members, 14 global campuses. We launched here in Portland 3 years ago. We're actually celebrating our 3rd birthday today. We launched 3 years ago here in Portland is the Roux Institute. And our mission here is to create economic development through a focus on technology and life sciences. And we do that through graduate education, research, and entrepreneurship. And that is what motivates us here, to create this platform for all of us to come together to grow and address these questions and issues. And so that's what we want to do today, and we welcome you here to do that. And so before I hand it over to Usama, who can actually talk about the substance with all of his background, I would love to introduce the people that brought this together. And the first group I'd like is all of our external steering committee. If you could all stand up. You know who you are. Stay standing. And then everybody who was interviewed for the report, please stand up. All of our speakers and panelists, will you please stand up? And then finally, the team at Northeastern who put this event on, both from the Roux Institute and the Institute for Experiential AI, if you could stand up. This event is truly a collaborative and community event, and we're just really, really pleased to have everybody here for the day to do it. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Usama, who, as you heard, has many, many years of seeing the future before most people have, with all of his work in AI and data science. And it is really his team at the Experiential AI Institute that conceived of this project and then drove it to where it is today.
Thank you, Margaret. And I hope all of you realize that ChatGPT probably scanned a lot of the material we've been using to promote this event, because I recognize some of the sentences. So look, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us. You are here because, like us, hopefully, you believe AI is going to play an important role in the future of the state and in the future of the technology for tomorrow in general, which means big deal for the economy of the future. And we hope that, like us, you are curious as to what this means for our state. So I'll say a few words regarding our approach to putting the report together on the state of AI in Maine. More importantly, why we think it's important. So when we say artificial intelligence, most people think about, the dumb-aware, the snazzy, visible stuff, the ChatGPTs, the DALL-Es, and the Lensa AI, and so forth. While this is all fascinating, exciting, and may grab our attention for a while before we forget all about it, our approach has been much more pragmatic and concrete. We wanted to actually figure out, we know AI is hitting us everywhere, be it in the business, public, or private lives. If you take an academic angle on it, you get one view. If you take an economic angle on it, you basically would ask a question, or the question that came to my mind is, okay, so the state of Maine, where is it on this journey of adopting this technology? And we're definitely on that journey. And for us to understand how this journey is going to progress, we need to understand where we are today. So the way I view this report that is released today is it's a baseline. It just kind of attempts to say, where are we? And it attempts to identify certain opportunities where I think we have interesting opportunities. This morning I was watching Dave Roux do his speech of 3 years ago when we launched the Institute. And one statement, Roux Institute, and one statement he made that really stuck in my mind, and is still relevant today, is he said, Maine is underperforming when measured against its potential. And I really believe that. I think there's a lot of interesting, good AI happening. I think we could be doing a lot more to leverage our strengths. So you're going to hear from many companies, educational institutions, organizations, and so forth, in Maine on how AI is already part of what they are doing day to day. We wanted to start there, get this baseline, and then help identify areas where we think we could go that give us leadership, potentially nationally, regionally, maybe even internationally. And this is not kind of dreams. I actually believe this. There are certain strengths to the state of Maine that are unique to it that could be played out into very, very big areas. If you think about it, marine technology, what is the fancy term for it is blue tech, right? We are a state that cares about that, about fisheries, forestry, other aspects like peaceful coexistence with the environment, preserving the environment. All of these are big issues. There are areas where we could stand a real chance to kind of lead the world. One problem that comes to mind, and there's many, how do you deal with an aging population, both from a lifestyle and a healthcare perspective? The rest of the world may not be there, but guess what? Many states are going to follow us here, and many countries are going to follow us here. If we figure out the right formula for how to do it right, how do we leverage technology to do it in innovative ways, that's just one example of many where we could create a whole new economy that's relevant to nationally and to the world. So, once we understand the baseline of where we are, we can start tracking our progress, identifying where we are missing out on important opportunities, kind of stop underperforming when it's within the reach of our potential, and maybe extend to do more. The next question is, how do we make the right progress real and achievable? And this is a lot less complicated than you might think it is. Many people think it's kind of black magic to make AI work. It's not. It's a simple process. I believe it requires two things. And most companies, 99.999% of companies in the world don't understand these. Number one is what we call experiential AI, which is our code word for human-in-the-loop AI. It means computer-assisted human intelligence working with human-assisted computer intelligence. Right? And this is one secret formula for kind of starting that virtuous cycle that can get us to places where we start looking magical. The second one that's missed by the rest of the world, most of the rest of the world, is data. Right? ChatGPT, billions of dollars were spent in the background, gathering data, labeling data, adjusting data, all of that, and then making it available for algorithms to use in analysis. This happens at Google, this happens at Amazon, this happens at all these places, much more than you think. With humans interacting and humans helping and humans adjusting. If Google stopped kind of retraining its algorithm on human feedback, within a few days to a week, the engine will become so poor in its ability to find results and so forth. And they understand this. They have armies of people working on this problem. So with that, I just wanted to mention that the report we are releasing today is the culmination of 4 months of research by our team, which included 50 interviews. I think there's a map here with the interviews, yep. 50 interviews with, within numerous sectors. We wanted to keep it general, we wanted to get a good idea. We hope you find the report useful, and we hope today's proceedings leave you with a good understanding of where AI is used by organizations in Maine, and where opportunities to leverage it to build the future economy of Maine are to be found. So at this point, I'd like to hand off the mic to Professor Mike Pollastri, who is the Senior Vice President at Northeastern, Senior Vice Provost at Northeastern. But more importantly, he's the guy who heads research and academics at the Roux Institute. And he was one of the, should I call them the 3 Musketeers? One of the founding leadership team members of the Roux Institute when we first got the privilege to fund it. So with that, Mike Pollastri.
Promoted and made a musketeer. Welcome everyone, we're very glad you're here today. So the report that you have in your hands, the report that you might have on your smartphones, it contains 7 case studies that represent, as you heard, over 50 interviews undertaken across the state of Maine. What's become clear through this undertaking and what you're going to read about is that AI applications have indeed begun proliferating around Maine, across healthcare, across education, natural resource industries, in new and creative ways. And these ways are starting to change how those industries are working. Whether it's how fishery catches are counted, how patient outcomes are improved, financial businesses are streamlined, how the next generation of manufacturing technologies enhance productivity. It's clear that Maine's legacy industries are changing and that AI is helping to facilitate that change. We all know that it's essential that what we do helps to grow Maine in ways that are new and exciting while maintaining those things that make Maine special. So we have to do a lot of work to ensure ethical, equitable, and trustworthy AI is deployed in our state. The governor stated, just before the pandemic, our goal to attract 75,000 workers to Maine by 2030 and to grow annual wages by 10%. Without increasing migration to the state, the labor force has begun to face long-term decline. AI is a field into which we can attract and build enabling talent into Maine that crosses all industries in Maine. The report is very thought-provoking. I pull out nuggets every time I've read through it, but I want to emphasize to you what Usama just said. This is just the baseline. It's highlighting where the opportunities are for the state, but it's only the starting point. So, therefore, we call on you, the community, business leaders, institutions of higher learning, to collaborate together across the state to create the future of AI in Maine. Because this is Maine. Dirigo. We lead. So thank you. We're glad you're here today. And I will now introduce our keynote speaker.